I preach to you today on the war in Vietnam because my conscience leaves me with no other choice. The time has come for America to hear the truth about this tragic war. In international conflicts, the truth is hard to come by because most nations are deceived about themselves. Rationalizations and the incessant search for scapegoats are the psychological cataracts that blind us to our sins. But the day has passed for superficial patriotism. He who lives with untruth lives in spiritual slavery. Freedom is still the bonus we receive for knowing the truth. Ye shall know the truth, says Jesus, and the truth shall set you free. I have chosen to preach about the war in Vietnam today because I agree with Dante that the hottest places in hell are reserved for those who, in a period of moral crisis, maintain their neutrality. There comes a time when silence is betrayal. The truth of these words is beyond doubt, but the mission to which they call us is a most difficult one. Even when pressed by the demands of inner truth, men do not easily assume the task of opposing their government's policy, especially in a time of war. Nor does the human spirit move without great difficulty against all the apathy of conformist thought within one's own bosom and in the surrounding world. Moreover, when the issues at hand seem as perplexing as they often do in the case of this dreadful conflict, we are always on the verge of being mesmerized by uncertainty. But we must move on. Some of us who have already begun to break the silence of the night have found that the calling to speak is often a vocation of agony. But we must speak. We must speak with all the humility that is appropriate to our limited vision. But we must speak. And we must rejoice as well, for in all our nation's history, there has never been such a monumental dissent during a war by the American people. Over the past few years, I have moved to break the betrayal of my own silences and to speak from the burnings of my own heart, as I have called for radical departures from the destruction of Vietnam. Many persons have questioned the wisdom of my path. Why are you speaking about the war, Dr. King? Why are you joining the voices of dissent? Peace and civil rights don't mix, they say. So this morning I speak to you on this issue because I am determined to take the gospel seriously. It is estimated that we spend $500,000 to kill each enemy soldier, while we spend only $53 for each person classified as poor. I was increasingly compelled to see the war as an enemy of the poor. The greatest purveyor of violence in the world today is my own government. The relationship of the ministry of Jesus Christ to the making of peace is so obvious. Do they not know that the good news was meant for all, for communists and capitalists, for their children and ours, for black and white, for revolutionary and conservative? Have they forgotten that my ministry is in obedience to the one who loved his enemies so fully that he died for them? It is clear to me that there will be no meaningful solution until some attempt is made to know these people and hear their broken cries. When machines and computers, profit motives, and property rights are considered more important than people. A true revolution of values will lay hands on the world order and say of war, this way of settling differences is not just. A nation that continues year after year to spend more money on military defense than on programs of social uplift is approaching spiritual death. If there is any one thing that we must see today, it is that these are revolutionary times. I'm not in despair because I know there is a moral order. I haven't lost faith because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. I can still sing, "We shall overcome," because Carlyle was right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. And with this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to speed up the day when justice will roll down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. We will be able to speed up the day when all over the world we will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. And nations will not rise up against nations. Neither shall they study war anymore. And I don't know about you. I ain't gonna study war no more. Dear Thai, dear beloved community, thank you for being here, bringing your practice, your presence, your joy, your love. I need it. I'm shaky. My body's shaky. That's Dr. King's speech. It's not a speech, it's a sermon. It's a sermon. Ebenezer Baptist Church, Atlanta, Georgia, April 30th, 1967. I encourage you to listen to the whole sermon. It's 47 minutes. It's a message for our time, this moment. Yeah, I think so. I'm so grateful that our teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, built a relationship with Dr. King and encouraged him to speak out against the war in Vietnam. I think a lot about the violence in Gaza, the hands of the Israeli military. About speaking out in opposition to that violence, with love, with compassion, because I love my ancestors, Jewish people, half of my ancestors. And when I look in the mirror, I see my face, and I see my roots in this part of the world, Arabic roots, Semitic roots, the place of Palestine. So that's why it's on my heart. And last week I wanted, it came in my meditation to hold again the violence and persecution that my ancestors have faced, Jewish people, and the Holocaust in Europe. It's very difficult. I recognize that I could not hold that on my own. That even though there's a longing to see myself in the gas chamber and also the person operating the gas chamber, to see myself as both of those people. I'm not yet able to do it. I need a community to do that, to help me to do that. I have hope. I am not in despair. I'm confident in our community to help me, to help others to do that. I have confidence in that. And so last week I began to read the document, Project 2025. written by my siblings. My siblings. Because Dr. King has exhorted me to love those I do not yet understand. And one of the other things that gives me a great deal of hope is something that I have learned from one of my brothers here, and that is about the thermophilic bacteria that live in the compost over there and a little bit everywhere. And the reason they bring me hope is because they continue to do the work of transformation day after day. At this very basic level of life that we are a part of. And they will continue. Forgive me for being emotional. Does anyone have a tissue? I seem to have forgotten mine. Thank you, dear brother. Appreciate that. Project 2025, the long march of cultural Marxism through our institutions has come to pass. The federal government is a behemoth, weaponized against American citizens and conservative values, with freedom and liberty under siege as never before. The name real people give to the things we do together is community, not government. Our lives are full of interwoven, overlapping communities, and our individual and collective happiness depends on them. But the most important community in each of our lives and the life of our nation is the family. Today, the American family is in crisis. 40% of all children are born to unmarried mothers, including more than 70% of black children. There's a lot there to look at in Project 2025, 900 pages. But I encourage you to read the foreword. It's about 10 pages to understand more. You don't have to agree, but you can see that as Americans we long for many of the same things. Yeah. I hope that we can listen to each other. That's one of the teachings of our community, listening deeply. I hope that can mitigate some of the harm and help bend that arc, or help us in that movement towards true justice, which is not vengeance, but healing. Yeah. And understanding. I wanted to say the words, or the word, it's a single word, Drista Dharma Sukha Vihara. I think it is the practice that Dr. King spoke of, freedom and happiness, dwelling happily in the present moment is a beautiful practice. And so I remind myself to breathe and to touch that we are together here in the present moment. And, love is possible right now. And this is a legendary moment. Yeah. And we're so fortunate to be part of that. Just by being here. And that revolutionary act of building community is nonviolence. Community building is nonviolence. Like this, the community of harmony and awareness. That's what my brother Idris continues to remind me. Yeah. I'm reminded of the revolutionary and loving Jewish resistance to Roman occupation and oppression. An empire like this one. But we are inside of this empire. But our act of resistance is very much the same. It is love in action. And that action, it sometimes looks like building a farm together so that we can feed everyone without extracting or oppressing them, hopefully. Or baking bread. My brother Steve here likes to bake bread. I think understanding some of the history that, from my Christian siblings today that, the Jewish people were oppressed by Rome, and later they wrote, they collated what we now call the Bible, or the text that became the Bible later. It's a long history. It's an important history to study. Maybe to question a little bit that blaming of the Jews for the crucifixion of Jesus. I think that's a very important thing to question, to understand, because I see in that the roots of anti-Semitism today, and that is something to heal. It's my wish. And I think about some of those revolutionary tactics which they used, like feeding everyone. I think of the tactics. It sounds military, but love in action. And I think about this miracle they call the loaves and the fishes, and it seems very straightforward to me. Maybe I have misunderstood something, but when you start to just give the little bit that you have, everyone is inspired to give, and suddenly you have an enormous amount of generosity and enough to feed everyone. Seems very simple, straightforward. It's a miracle. It is a miracle. It's not a fantasy, like suddenly, magically, something that is not possible will happen. But anyway, it's an interesting contemplation. I wanted to say that I still feel very weak, afraid sometimes, and that's another reason why this community feels so precious to me, because it gives me more strength, feel a little bit more strength. And I was on the street in New York City. I just arrived, and it felt unfamiliar. That was last week, arriving in New York City. I was a little bit lost, and I came up out of the subway, and I saw the people, and I had fear in my heart, some anxiety about being lost or not recognizing where the subway was. And a young black man asked me, and because I was looking around somewhat confused, and I felt vulnerable. And he asked me, "Can you buy me a sandwich? I haven't eaten for 3 days." And because I was afraid, I said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you." So that is recognition of my own wish to meet this person, and I hope that this man has found food. But that's what happened. But today, here in the monastery, we can feed each other. So that gives me some hope that we could do that. I also would love to see us. I spoke with Valerie Brown just a little bit at Blue Cliff Monastery. I was there for Dharma Teacher Council CTC gathering. And I talked to her, like, what can we do in these times of fear, anxiety, oppression, division. And we spoke about organizing listening circles and letting people listen to each other. Yeah. My brother's going to invite the bell. I'm still pretty shaky. It reminds me that it's okay to be afraid. I think many of us, many of those in leadership and across the nation are afraid. Yeah. They may not even recognize their anger as fear. Mm. Mm. I put this away because I thought I had said most of the things that I wanted to say, but I see there's more time. And I love this book by Thich, Love in Action. The essence of nonviolence is love. Out of love and the willingness to act selflessly, strategies, tactics, and techniques for a nonviolent struggle arise naturally. Nonviolence is not a dogma, it is a process. Other struggles may be fueled by greed, hate, fear, or ignorance, but a nonviolent one cannot use such blind sources of energy, for they will destroy those involved and also the struggle itself. Nonviolent action born of the awareness of suffering and nurtured by love is the most effective way to confront adversity. Fasting, the method used most by Mahatma Gandhi to help India in its struggle for independence, was also used in Vietnam. Sometimes thousands of people fasted, and other times a single person fasted. We fasted as prayer to purify our hearts, consolidate our will, and arouse awareness and compassion in others. When Thich Nhat fasted for 100 days, those who passed the Yui Tan clinic were jarred into awareness, and compassion was born in them. As a result, they felt compelled to meet, talk, and plan, thereby escalating the struggle. Thich Nhat had not planned to fast. He had to fast. Anyone can practice some nonviolence, even soldiers. Some army generals, for example, conduct their operations in ways that avoid killing innocent people. This is a kind of nonviolence. To help soldiers move in the direction of nonviolence, we have to be in touch with them. If we divide reality into two camps, the violent and the nonviolent, and stand in one camp while attacking the other, the world will never have peace. We will always blame and condemn those we feel are responsible for wars and social injustice, without recognizing the degree of violence in ourselves. We must work on ourselves and also work with those we condemn if we want to have a real impact. It never helps to draw a line and dismiss some people as enemies, even those who act violently. We have to approach them with love in our hearts and do our best to help them move in a direction of nonviolence. If we work for peace out of anger, we will never succeed. think you've heard many of these things before. And so I rely heavily on teachers, Dr. King and Thai. I'm still growing up as a teacher, so. I wonder what love looks like for conservative America, conservative Christians, the present administration. I want to say that I feel the suffering of those who have some, identify and feel they have some gender difference from others, because I think it's a very scary time when so much misunderstanding is there, and yeah, I don't know what will happen. I think none of us can see the future, but I think listening to Dr. King's words, I feel like I'm listening to a prophet looking into the future, and what we are experiencing today, he could see it. Yeah, that's a little scary, but the message of hope is also very powerful. I would really like to be a little less shaky. Nice. Yeah, let's listen to another sound of the bell. When I think about us healing the wounds that we carry, I think about the kind of violence that we have lived through on this continent, on the Turtle Island, North America, and the United States. Violence of slavery and of the genocide of the indigenous people. It's words, but the displacement and the forcing of people to abandon their traditions, their languages. Very painful. And disease, and it's painful. But that same longing that I have to heal the wounds of the Holocaust for the Jewish people and all of the peoples is the same longing for us to reconcile, not through any act of force, but through act of coming together, like building understanding around that. And I know that Thai went back to Vietnam to hold these ceremonies, requiem masses, if you want, for the people that died in Vietnam. That Dr. King was speaking about, the people that died going out to sea, the people that died in battle, the children who died, the hungry ghosts. And I think there's a deep recognition that the need for collective healing is so important of those kinds of wounds, that otherwise it lives on in us and continues to generate fear. And I think we have that kind of work to do here in the United States. And I wonder how we can reach across to inspire people, not force them, but inspire them to participate in something like that. And I also see that, like, the simple acts we do every day here in the community, that what we will do, like following this Dharma talk, to go on walking meditation, to eat together, work together down on the farm, or just taking care of our hamlet, all those actions in mindfulness plant seeds for that possibility. I think so. So that makes it very important to me. I'm so grateful that I have a relationship with so many of you here, and I want to take care of those relationships. Some of you I have not met, so I apologize for any unskillfulness in this talk if it hasn't reached you, but I'm grateful that you're here to practice, and thanks for being here. I'm glad my mom is here. Thanks for being here, Mom. It's just a little bit of time left. I don't know if anyone has anything they would like to say or ask me about, or if we'd just like to breathe together for a little bit. Why don't we listen to the sound of the bell? If there's something on your heart, please, after the bell.
it seems Thai encountered this issue as well during his lifetime and during his efforts. How do you take care of your own practice and keep yourself from burning out while trying to include and take care of others at the same time?
Yeah. Beautiful contemplation for us. I think what comes to my mind is this insight of interbeing. Then we see that taking care of ourselves is taking care of others. And that when we start to touch into that space a little bit more, like with the breath, in breath, breathing in, I know that calming my body is making me less fearful that I can respond to the people in front of me in the present moment. So sometimes we think it's I have to go over there and do something. It creates some anxiety for us. I have to do this work, or I have to get this accomplished. I don't have time for myself. Maybe that's something that comes up for me. Like I feel some stress. Like I have to give this Dharma talk. I have to make it good, and it's a gift to you all. But and I sit up here and I see my main work is just calming my my own fear, and that's also a gift to you. But yeah, I think it's not something we can answer right away. Your question, it's your own investigation. The intersection of myself, this body, and these feelings with bodies and feelings of not just the people, but the living beings around me. That has helped me. But I think listening to ourselves with compassion, like if we have pain or confusion or anger or fear, and that we don't run away from that, or we can let the Sangha know about that. That's also a deep act of love. That's a difficult thing to do sometimes. Not always straightforward. I think that's one of the things that Dr. King also said in his speech. Or his sermon. It's not like a black and white thing. I should do this thing or that thing. Sometimes we do our best, and then we learn from our experience like that. And that's been my experience with it. Like I burned out in the registration office once, working at Upper Hamlet. I got overwhelmed by a sense of responsibility, and it was a little bit beyond my capacity to do that. And so I came back to the Sangha and said, this is too much for me, I need to step away. I did for like a year, and the Sangha didn't say, what's wrong with you? Sangha said, okay. I lived in the EIAB in Germany for 6 months when it first opened, and it was too much for me. I wasn't prepared for living in a building that was occupied by Nazi Germany, and had many of the marks of that still on it, and with my own unresolved relationship to my heritage and ancestry. And I was overwhelmed also because I didn't get enough sleep there. We were waking up at 5 a.m. and the sun didn't rise until 7 a.m. was the middle of winter in Germany, very dark and very cold. So I started to lose my mental stability from sleep deprivation. And I started to have a mental breakdown. And it was very scary, yeah. And at that time, I asked the Sangha to do beginning anew practice, because I was sure that the Sangha, in projecting some of that onto the Sangha, I was sure we needed to do beginning anew. So the whole Sangha, the brothers in my Sangha, listened to me for 1 hour to share everything that was on my heart. Now it's been 1 hour. And I felt a lot of relief. And then they helped me to go back to Plum Village. So, yeah, and then slowly I started to learn to take care of my sleep, so I could be a more solid member of the Sangha. And now, even today, I practice that, even though I lose the time with the community in the sitting meditation early in the morning, but I get some more stability to practice, and so and more clarity in my mind. So I have had to learn to reconcile those things. That could only happen through experience that took like 10 years. I wish it hadn't taken 10 years. So I don't want to give you like false hope, but yeah. Anyway, then we support each other to get better insights. So we'll do walking meditation, and then we'll have time to share our insights together. And I'm very grateful for Uncle Ben, who encouraged me to give this talk, and I hope it wasn't too crazy, or, I would love to be more solid in conveying the Dharma, but I have done my best, and I'm really grateful for all the support, all of your support, and being here. And the most important thing is that we continue together and support each other like this with love, and yeah. Let's take time to embrace each other today, if we can, so we can build that sense of love.
My pain's like a river of tears, so vast it fills the four oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so that I can wake up and the door of my heart can be left open. The door of compassion.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you, friends. I feel less shaky now.